All right, good everyone. I skipped a word. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the stream. How is everyone doing today? I welcome you all as the weekend. It is a fun weekend coming up with new release content constantly here on DSPGaming, and I hope that you guys are ready for all of the fun streams that are to come. Good stuff, okay? Welcome, welcome. It is Saturday, the 9th of October, 2021. I, of course, am DSP, or Darkside Phil, or whatever you want to call me. Asshole, some people call me. Dickhead. Whatever. It's all good. Welcome, welcome. I hope that you're all having a good weekend so far. I hope that you've been enjoying the stuff I've been pumping out for you. All this new release stuff in October has been pretty crazy so far, and it is not letting up, let me tell you. Looking at the release schedule, we got a lot more coming, man. A lot more. Between now and the end of the month for sure. I hope you guys are excited for that. I'm actually really excited for the weekend. It's a good variety of stuff coming this weekend. I'm playing like 5 different games. Pretty crazy, but always a good time. So, hello. Now, one thing I feel like I should say before we even start today. You know, I'm an observant guy. I'm always looking, listening, right? I'm always looking here, looking and listening, and trying to listen to the trends and things people are saying around me and my content. And I've noticed that recently a lot of people seem to ask me questions. And the questions are, what are you playing? When are you playing this? What's going on with this game? And the more and more I see people ask these questions, excuse me. Sorry, frog in my throat. The more that I hear people ask these questions, I'm like, are you guys aware that I post up my schedule every single night? The last thing I do for work every single day. What I do is I stream 2 streams a day. I upload all those videos here to DSPGaming, the channel on YouTube. And then when I'm done with all of that, on my Twitter, which is @TheyCallMeDSP, I post up a visual schedule for you to see, an actual at-a-glance like schedule for the next several days, sometimes a whole week, and I make that my pinned tweet on my account. Then on top of that, I also do an audio-only schedule. And I do the audio-only schedule for 2 reasons. First of all, because many people do things, multitask, when they're actually listening to my stuff or doing my stuff. They don't want to sit there and read a physical schedule. They just want to hit play while they're doing something else, and then they hear my schedule. I talk it out. But otherwise, I also have some blind fans who appreciate the fact that I go out of the way to make my content accessible. And so the audio-only schedule is a way to do that for them, okay? So I do this every single night, all right? Last thing I do, after all the content is uploaded and everything's good, this is what I do to end my workday. So I strongly recommend, for those of you who are wondering, gee, I wonder what Phil's doing today. First of all, you can always type !schedule into the stream chat and get an answer for that, because I always update the daily schedule, and it should say in a live stream what I'm doing if you type !schedule. But if you want a better picture of what I'm doing for the entirety of the week, go to my Twitter, @TheyCallMeDSP. You'll get your answers there. Also, you could just type !Twitter into the stream chat if you're here live on the chat. I definitely would appreciate people who would spread the word about that. I mean, I do it for a reason. And it's kind of silly that I got people still asking, what's Phil doing? Like, well, it's really publicly there for you guys, man. So I hope that you guys will use that, all right? Let's talk about what I've been doing recently. First of all, Wake Remastered yesterday was quite the interesting stream, to say the least. First of all, the plot got much better, which I knew happens in this game. The plot gets more interesting. There's twists, there's turns, there's supernatural elements to it that I really enjoy. But in addition to that, we ran into a game-crippling bug, which I believe the game is actually haunted for real. I think that it was a ghost in the game trying to fuck with me. There was a room where you need to use an elevator to cross a gap, and the elevator was glitched into the stairwell and would not remove itself. It took me about 20 minutes to figure out how to pass it. How did I pass it? I glitched it even further. I basically glitched the glitch so badly that it propelled my body across the chasm that I was not supposed to do. I was like floating across like I was being, pulled by a ghost. It was pretty entertaining. People laughed their asses off. So if you didn't see it yet, get caught up right here on DSPGaming. All the videos are on demand and live. However, I will say this again, and I'm going to continue to say this over the course of my Alan Wake Remastered playthrough. If you're enjoying that playthrough, If you like the nostalgia factor that I'm replaying this game from 11 years ago for only the second time, if you like the fact that I have turned the music on, and what I mean by that is the game has a ton of licensed music that definitely adds to the game, but I left it on purpose because I did not want to hinder the overall gameplay experience of that playthrough, you see? But by doing that, all of those videos are getting claimed on YouTube for music. Every single video that has a song in it already, someone else owns the rights and is making money on my video. So I'm not making any money on ad revenue on Alan Wake, okay? If you like that playthrough and you're watching it on demand, please do me a favor, contribute via another method. Check out the description of the video. There's a ton of methods listed there that you can contribute that have nothing to do with streaming. You know, because some people say, oh, why would I contribute via a method that's a stream method? I'm not on live streams. I watch it on demand. There's other ways you can contribute. You can check out my Patreon. You can check out my Teespring, you know. So please give it a look. And again, please support that playthrough. I do appreciate everyone who is. Right now, that playthrough is very popular. It's getting good attention, and I'm happy for that. But obviously, I hope that, you know, people will support it. Okay, so anyway, that was yesterday's main stream. Last night I played Street Fighter. It was my weekly Street Fighter session. And I had a good time, although admittedly, the connections last night left something to be desired. I don't know what was going on. Like, every person I played, half the time I pressed the button didn't work. It was a dropped input. I was like, oh my god, man. Seems like this collection just gets worse and worse. 3.5 years into it, the damn thing barely works at this point. It's like on its last legs. Now, I did say this last night, and I do want to call this out, okay? FYI, I may not be doing Street Fighter consistently depending on what happens. So allow me to explain. By the way, Snow Cooper, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't get any Nintendo code from you. I don't know what you mean. Did you send me an email? Like, how did you send me this, supposedly this Nintendo code? I didn't get anything. So no, I did not get anything from you, Snow Cooper. If you tried to send me a Nintendo code as you're saying in the chat, I got nothing. Okay? Anyway, so that being said, with Street Fighter, I enjoy doing Street Fighter once a week. And I keep getting asked, Phil, why do you play Street Fighter once a week if you have such a bad time playing it? Because the truth is I don't have a bad time playing it. When I play Street Fighter, even though the lag is bad, the inputs are dropped, and you got trolls harassing me and shit. The truth of the matter is, every time that I play Street Fighter, the once a week that I do, I feel nostalgic. I get a feeling of connection with my youth. When I used to be in arcades when I was young, Friday and Saturday nights, you know, 3-4 hours a week, playing Street Fighter, having fun, standing in an arcade cabinet, competing against other people from all over the local area. I get that vibe back. I do. It feels great. It actually feels exciting to me that I get to re-experience the classics that I was playing in arcades at one point, you know. It's the only opportunity I get to do that. I don't have time or means to go attend tournaments in person and play other people like that. I don't have a means to play another version of the game. I know a lot of people are like, oh, why don't you play Fightcade? I can't. I can't play Fightcade. My computer, you know, with the setup that I have, it barely allows me to capture from consoles the way that I'm doing. The CPU can get maxed out like 80-90%. Now imagine trying to run Fightcade while doing that. It ain't gonna work. So this is the only opportunity I really have to play the classics, okay? And I would much rather play a busted, broken, falling apart version of the classics than not play the classics at all, okay? But at the very same time, I recognize that right now, I am in the midst of all these new game releases. It is the busiest gaming time of the year. And I've been getting some valid complaints from people, basically saying, listen, we want you to play the new releases more. Why are you playing games like Street Fighter when you've got games like Lost Judgment and the Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania collection and these other games? You're playing them like once a week. And instead you're playing these classic fighters. Why? It's a valid question. What I would say is thus, we do have a regular audience that attends the Street Fighter streams every week and really loves them. Okay, I know that for a fact. People tell me, wow, I really love your classic Street Fighter. I come every week to support it. So that being said, I want to keep it going at least once a week. But if we get to a point where it seems like I am way behind on all the new release content, then yes, I would consider dropping Street Fighter for now. I've done it before. I haven't just actively played Street Fighter weekly every single week for the past 3.5 years. There's actually been several times, especially during this time of year, when I've dropped it temporarily to play all the new releases, and then I went back to it later when time permitted. Okay? So all that being said, that's the deal right now. That's what I did yesterday. Let's talk about today. Today's Saturday, and today we're doing some fun stuff. We're continuing on the playthrough of Far Cry 6. I played one session of this a couple days ago when the game first released. By the way, one thing I should tell everyone, which you may not be aware of, I was just made aware of it, okay? If you own a PlayStation 5, an Xbox Series S, or an Xbox Series X, on the respective stores of each one of those consoles, there is a separately listed HD textures pack for Far Cry 6 that you can download and install for free that makes the game have better textures. For some reason, it's not included in the base download of the game. It makes no sense that it would be this way, but it is. So I didn't have that installed for the first session of the game because I didn't know it existed. But thanks to a fan who tweeted me last night, I now have it installed, and we're going to see if it makes the game look any better. I don't know if it will. But it's just kind of baffling that they did it that way. Like, what were they thinking? They didn't just install it in the main version of the game? Like, if you have the next-gen console, of course you want that. So why isn't it in there by default? Why doesn't it even tell you of its existence? Right? Like, you wouldn't even know that this pack exists if someone didn't tell you. So why didn't they say something? I don't know. It's very confusing to me that they went about it this way. But they did. So I installed it as of today. It's huge. It's 26 gigabytes. So it's a pretty big texture pack. But we're going to see if the game looks any better today as a result of it. Okay? Now, as for my initial impressions of Far Cry 6, I'll tell you. I like the game so far. So far, the plot has been interesting. The characters are kind of zany like they tend to be in Far Cry. The weapons are interesting. I'm unlocking more weapons as we go along. I just got an LMG that I'm going to try today, as well as a flamethrower. I got this crazy rocket jetpack or not jetpack, but a rocket pack. I used it the very tail end of the last stream. I had a whole camp of guys who were alerted coming towards me. I fired this rocket pack. It killed everyone. It just rained down on them and insta-killed everybody. So it seems like that's what they're going for this game. Yeah, you're going to have your typical gunplay and sneaking, but at the same time, you're going to have these zany over-the-top weapons that if things go wrong, you could just, like, clear a whole area. So, I'm excited to see how it goes today, to see what else unlocks. Will we have any more companions? Will we have any more zany issues? I don't know. We're going to see. Okay, we're going to see today what happens. I get the feeling that we're nearing the end of the intro segment, because I've pretty much done most of the stuff, if not all the stuff that's been on this first island that we're on. And then I get the feeling the game will likely open up. Maybe we'll have options of order to do things and stuff. So we'll see. Okay, but I'm liking the game so far. I'm actually enjoying it. Hope you guys are enjoying it. And I hope to continue the fun today. I hope you guys will join me for a fun stream and see where the game takes us. All right. So far, so good. Am I expecting that this game is going to retain interest 30 hours in? I don't know. But for now, only 3 hours in, it's pretty good. I'm enjoying myself. Okay? Okay, later tonight, the late stream at 6:45 p.m. Pacific time will be the continuation of Lost Judgment. Now, I'm well aware that those who are fans of my Judgment gameplay, my Yakuza gameplay, are kind of disappointed with my coverage of Lost Judgment. I played it as a main stream for like a week, and then after that, basically, it's kind of gotten stuffed into the late night streams and not played that much. I hear ya. If you take a look at this week in particular, not only did we have the Battlefield beta the other day, but now tomorrow night we have Hades concluding. So because of that, basically it kind of hindered my ability to play these games late night. It did. It just held up my ability to play these games late night. And, you know, it is what it is. I definitely want to continue playing it. I really love the game. I like the fact that it has so much side content. It's super fun. But at the very same time, you know, I understand that people want more of it, and I haven't been playing it that much, okay? So tonight, it's 2 hours of Lost Judgment. We're in the midst of the class cases. If you don't know what that means, this game has a whole element where you're investigating crime at a high school. And that's what we're doing. We're in the midst of doing side missions and things for these clubs to try to figure out this criminal called the Professor, who's apparently involved with all this stuff at the high school. I've currently got 3 clubs I'm working on. I unlocked 2 more that I haven't even looked into yet. I don't even know what they are. Okay, so tonight we'll see how that goes. 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. I hope you guys will join me for that. Tomorrow, the main gameplay stream will be the continuation of Alan Wake Remastered again. I believe now we're starting episode 3. Seems like every stream so far has been 1 episode, so we'll see if we can get through another episode tomorrow. It's been lots of fun. Hopefully we don't have any more game-crippling bugs, and it should be a good time. Tomorrow night, Sunday night, indeed will be the conclusion of my Hades playthrough. Now, I've been playing Hades for 2 months, ever since it released on Xbox Game Pass in the summer. And I've really enjoyed the game. It's actually definitely one of my favorite games of the year. My eyes have been opened to what a roguelike can be when well developed. Let's put it that way. Now, supposedly, this is my 10th clear run, and if I clear the game the 10th time, that's the end of the story of the game, but the game continues. You keep going if you want to get supplemental story and stuff. I guess what it is at this point is if you've gotten hooked on the good gameplay of the game, you want to keep going, right? For me, being that this is basically almost 40 hours of gameplay, this is going to be where I call it quits for now, and I say, okay, that's the end of my Hades playthrough, time to move on and focus on the other new releases. But at the same time, I really did enjoy the game, so if ever in the future there's ever a desire to see me go back, I would consider it. I'm not going to just, like, give up and say, no, I'll never play it again. I really have enjoyed it that much, okay? So, that's tomorrow. I hope you guys will join me for the epic conclusion of my Hades playthrough, especially if you've been along for the ride. On Monday, it'll be more Far Cry 6, and we're going to pair that with Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. I believe if we've been looking at the game, I think I'm in World 6 now, out of 10. So we'll see how far I can get in 2 more hours. The game is getting way harder now. Like, the stages are getting ridiculously difficult. Which is fine. I just don't know if I'm going to end up getting stuck on a stage for an extended period of time that won't be very entertaining to watch me try to beat. I guess we'll see. But let's continue on Monday night and see how that goes. And then on Tuesday, we got yet another new release. Back for Blood on the Xbox Game Pass. I played the beta, and the beta didn't really work that well, which sucked. The versus mode was good, but it was very limited with the amount of zombies that were available to pick, and the map was kind of crappy. We couldn't even get consistently enough people to play the multiplayer mode. So then finally I started playing the story on the last hour. I thought it was alright, but we didn't get enough time really hands-on with the beta to make a judgment. So the full game comes out on Tuesday on Game Pass. I'll be checking it out. I hope you guys will join me for that. The spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead over 10 years later. And then Tuesday night will be another session of Lost Judgment. So there will be 2 late-night sessions of Lost Judgment this week. Moving forward, since there will not be any more Battlefield beta and no more Hades, there's potential I may play Lost Judgment even more. Maybe 3 times next week. Okay? We'll see. Alright? Alrighty then. So that's the schedule, my friends. Now, the week after, because Wednesday is actually my day off for this week, okay? The week after, we basically have 1 week to focus in on everything that I'm currently doing. So there'll be major progress in Alan Wake, major progress in Far Cry, major progress in Lost Judgment, Super Monkey Ball, although I don't know how long it'll take me to beat Super Monkey Ball, right? But basically, there's going to be progress in all of these games. And that's a good thing, because then after that, the next week, we actually have multiple new releases. We've got the next game from the Dark Pictures anthology. It's called House of Ashes. We've got Guardians of the Galaxy as well, both in that last week of October. And then, of course, on Halloween itself, we've got my Halloween marathon event. I guess now's as good a time as any to bring that up. Okay? So, Halloween marathon event. It is your last chance to nominate games for it. The reason I say that is because likely tomorrow or Monday, or both, I'm going to be working on taking the games you've nominated and turning it into polls for you to vote on to determine what games I'll actually be playing during the Halloween marathon. Okay? So, if you have not yet, I strongly recommend last chance to nominate games for the Halloween marathon event. 2 ways to nominate games. First of all, if you're just a viewer, a regular viewer here, and you hang out and you want to nominate, type !Halloween into the stream chat. That will bring up a link by which you can go to my forums and post up nominations for games. If you are currently a channel member, okay, you get priority access to nominate games for the Halloween event. Okay, go to the main channel page of DSPGaming, go to the community tab, and there will be a members only post there by which it says, hey, post up your nominations. Please do. All right, like I said, within the next day to 2 days, I'm going to take all of your nominations. I'm going to make polls. You guys will start voting to determine what games will be during that actual marathon on Halloween. Now, in addition to that, I have formulated the categories of Halloween costume that I will be using to determine what I will wear as a costume during the Halloween event. The categories are as follows. Ready? Comic book character, pop culture, fantasy, or Phil's choice. Those are the 4 that you will be able to vote on, okay? And those categories, that poll will also go live soon. Not yet, but soon. All right? Likely it'll be a community post on my page on DSPGaming that you guys will be able to vote on to determine the category of Halloween costume. Okay? So, we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully, we'll get some excitement. People will start voting and get all the Halloween festivities going. Now, one final thing coming up for the Halloween event. When it happens, all right, that marathon on Halloween, I'm going to be doing the next episode of Feasting with the King. At this point, it will have been over 2 months since I did one, which is exciting that I'll finally be bringing it back. What is Feasting with the King? Well, what it is I order some kind of cuisine that basically I normally would not eat or have not eaten ever before. And I try it out for the first time. You know, times that I've done this, the first time was Indian food. I tried goat curry and this chili tandoori chicken, neither of which I'd ever had before. The second time, I ordered Sonic fast food, which I had before, but I never really eaten the chili cheese dog and stuff like that. So I tried different items. This time around, it will not be something American. It'll definitely be something different. Like I'm thinking like Filipino food, Thai food, maybe Mexican food, and I'll see what else is available. But I'll make it some interesting categories, unique stuff. And then you guys will be able to vote on the category of cuisine that I'll be trying during the event. And then on top of that, the day of the event, we're going to order together that morning to determine what I'm going to eat that day. We'll actually go to the menu together and order certain menu items. Okay? So, exciting stuff coming up for Halloween. I hope you guys have enjoyed the Halloween festivities so far this month. You know, we're a little over a week into the month. We've had all the new animations and things playing. You guys seem to like them. I really appreciate that, guys. Thank you for all of your support, okay? Speaking of support, we can use this to transition into the next part of the stream, which is the gratuitous plugs. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am an independent content creator. If you don't know what that means, it means that I don't have any sponsorships. I don't have any partnerships. I'm not supported, basically, by anyone but you guys. You guys are the reason why I'm still here, all right? I am someone who is true to myself. Because I don't have sponsorships, partnerships, I don't have to worry about saying something that would upset a sponsor. And now I get booted from the sponsorship, and now I can't afford to make a living anymore or anything like that. It's not like that at all. Because of the way that I make content, I can say and do whatever I want. I can be completely 100% transparent and honest with you about my gameplay experiences on a daily basis. And because I am, you guys appreciate what I do. You've recognized how different I am from other content creators, and it is you guys who directly support me every single day. It is the crowdfunding from you guys that allow me to keep doing what I do. And I am incredibly grateful that you guys like what I do so much, that you come to the streams every day and you support my content. Thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate that. It really is. That's how I make a living, is you guys individually supporting this content every day. All right? That being said, I consider contributing to my streams, going above and beyond just being a standard stream viewer. I appreciate those who do so to keep this going. And I thank you in advance to anyone who is considering contributing during today's stream to keep stuff going. Okay? So, let's go ahead and mention some of the ways that you guys can contribute to the streams if you like it. First of all, there's memberships. If you become a channel member and you join the channel today, you get so many different benefits. First of all, a highlighted name in stream chat, access to 20 emotes and growing, the ability to talk as much as you want because you are not held back by the slow mode regulations of the stream. In addition to that, you get a cool chat crown badge to show how long you've been a supporter. In fact, some people will actually be starting up what will effectively be their 6th month of support coming up. And because of that, they're going to start getting their new crown that has rubies and emeralds and stuff encrusted in it. I would argue within a couple weeks, a few people, so you should start seeing those in the stream, which is awesome. Okay? But in addition to all of that, you get priority access to various events. Currently, members are able to have priority nominations for the games for the Halloween event. They also had priority access to posting up questions for Ask the King, and I answered many different questions that were members-only questions during my last Q&A show just last week. So many benefits to becoming a member. Thank you in advance to anyone who does so. Now, you can also do something called a super chat or a super sticker. This is a way that you can contribute through YouTube itself, where you basically toss some support through the chat system, and you get a highlighted message in chat because you do so, okay? Now, memberships, super chats, and super stickers support this channel in the long term. What I mean by that is, that support that takes a while for me to get it, but once I get it, it helps a lot. It's kind of like the consistent support I used to have on Twitch from subs and cheers, all right? Every month, memberships to Super Chats are building. I've noticed this. Thank you guys for this support. If this continues to grow, hopefully within maybe a year, I can get back to the level that I was at over on Twitch, all right? It is definitely increasing every month, and I really appreciate the level of support I'm getting here, okay? And because I appreciate your support so much, I go out of my way to try to shout out every single contribution I get. I want you to know how much I appreciate those because they keep me going. So I do my best. Now, keep in mind, to get a shout out, you need to stay in line with the rules of the stream, which means no insults, no derailing, no drama from the outside of the streams, etc., etc. It's mostly common sense stuff. Sadly, a lot of people don't have common sense, but I do appreciate those that do. Okay? All right. So all that being said, guys, I appreciate all those ways to contribute. However, matter-of-factly, the best way that you can contribute to my streams is by tipping me. All right? When you send me a tip, there's two major reasons why tipping me is the best way to support this stream. The first is because I get a tip immediately. I'll give you a perfect example right now. Over the course of this weekend, I've got about $800 in bills that are coming due. Okay? That's a lot, including my internet bill, my dues here for where I live, the condo dues and stuff like that. Tips are how I pay for this stuff. Okay? When you tip me, it pays for those kind of bills. It pays for taxes. It pays for the cost of games that I buy for the streams. It actually pays for when I go out shopping with my family, grocery shopping, or maybe even getting a meal out once a week with my wife. That kind of stuff. That's what the tips pay for. Okay? So, because I get the tips immediately, they help tremendously. I can put it immediately towards an immediate need. But in addition to that, I get more of a cut of tips than everything else. Every single contribution method, there's a middleman who takes a cut, right? Tips, I get more of. So if you're, I want to give Phil, obviously, the most support possible, tipping is the way to do it because less gets taken away by somebody else, you see? So, if you're interested in tipping to support the streams, please do. You can check the description of the stream or just type !tip into the stream chat to figure out how, all right? And because tips are so important, we have a 3-tiered tips reward structure here on my streams. If we raise $50 in tips total, I put on my pair of Gunner glasses. If we raise $100 in tips total, I'll put on a hat of your choice. Because I am playing new releases and wearing my headphones, I'm limited to the hats I can wear. Therefore, the hats are the digital, the camo, and the fake hair hat, because those are the only ones I can wear with headphones. This will not be an issue later in the month when I get a new pair of headphones that I can wear around my neck, but this is what we're doing right now. And if we raise the full tips goal of $150 on the stream, I will put on a vest of your choice. I hate to say it, sadly, we have not hit this in many days. It would be great if we could hit the full tips goal today. That would help me tremendously to pay these bills over the weekend. So please consider tipping. All the best vests are eligible. The red, the platinum, the denim, the gold, all your favorites. Okay? So thank you very much to everyone. Did I just click on the wrong name? I did. Snow Cerdo, I clicked on your name by accident. There was a troll above you. I clicked on his name, but then the stream chat scrolled and unclicked that and clicked on you instead. I just unblocked you. You were blocked and immediately unblocked. I fixed it. Okay. Anyway. Yes. Okay. So that's the deal, guys. That's how you can support the streams. And thank you in advance to anyone who does. Some people already have, and I'm going to give shout-outs in just a moment to those who have. Let's talk. There's 2 news stories today that I'd like to talk about in regards to... By the way, Snow Cerdo, you could talk, right? Because I immediately unblocked you. I just want to make sure that works. I think the way it works on YouTube is if you block someone, you can immediately unblock them. Yeah, he's unblocked. He just talked again. Yeah, you can immediately unblock. You have to do it, like, right away. If you don't do it within, like, a minute, then it kind of sticks, and then I got to do all these fucking extra things to unblock, but it looks like I was able to easily unblock you, and that was a mistake. So, apologies for that. It was a misclick. Okay. So I have 2 news stories to talk about today. The first news story, I just kind of snicker at and laugh. If you guys aren't aware, yesterday the Switch OLED released. Now, we talked about the Switch OLED earlier this week, and everyone kind of laughed at the situation. Allow me to recap. Switch came out with a new model, but it wasn't what everyone thought it was. Everyone thought Switch was going to come out with like a Switch Plus or a Switch Pro, and it was going to have all these dramatic improvements that were going to allow you to have a better gaming experience on your Switch. People wanted improved Joy-Cons, so there was no more Joy-Con drift. People wanted better graphics, more storage space. They got none of that. Literally, the Switch OLED has 3 improvements. A bigger screen with slightly better visuals, a better speaker, and a better kickstand if you stand it up when you use it. That's it. By the way, they're charging $50 extra for this OLED version rather than the last Switch version. Yeah. So, when this was announced several months ago, everyone just kind of laughed and said, well, this is kind of silly. This is exactly the opposite of what people wanted. Everyone for years said, we want a Switch Pro. Nintendo said, here's a Switch kind of the same for more money. So at that time, yes, that is true. It does have a built-in Ethernet port, although that's silly because the dock had an Ethernet port anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But yes, the Ethernet port is built in, right? Instead of needing an adapter or whatever to have your Ethernet cord plugged into your dock manually like that, it now has an Ethernet port included, which it should have had from the get-go. So essentially, this is like the Switch as it should have launched many years ago, but instead they waited this long to release it, okay? For more money, by the way. So anyway, the reason that I'm talking about this today, it released yesterday, and it's hilarious to me because we all talked about this collectively, and collectively online like 3 months ago when this was announced or whatever it was, everyone kind of smirked and said, man, we're not getting it. What's the point? If you don't have a Switch, okay, if you do not have a Switch, then I can understand why you want a Switch OLED. Okay, I don't have one. This is the better version. It's got more features, better screen. Fair enough. Or if you're someone who has used your Switch and beaten the shit out of it, right? What if you're someone who actually uses your Switch actively on a daily basis as a portable console and you wore it out, right? Okay, I can understand you want a Switch OLED because now you want a replacement, maybe, you know, a few extra nice features, right? But in general, the vast majority of people who have a Switch do not need a Switch OLED. You will get no benefits out of it whatsoever. Zero. There's no added benefit of buying this thing besides lining Nintendo's pockets with more money. But that didn't stop content creators all over the fucking internet yesterday from posting up pictures of their new Switch OLEDs. I had to laugh hilariously when people who criticized this console 3 months ago all said, hey guys, look, I went out and bought a Switch OLED and here it is. What the fuck? I hate to say it, guys. These people are so ridiculous. They're rolling in dough, first of all. Most people don't realize this, but most of these people have unlimited funds. We've seen through some of these Twitch leaks and shit how much money these people really make. They don't have the same kind of limitations that we have. They don't have to think about, oh, buying a Switch OLED, I need to really weigh and balance this in my mind if I can afford it. To them, that's like a pack of gum. You know what I mean? Like, to them, it's like, who cares? Who cares? I'll just blow money on it to literally put up a fucking picture on social media. $300, $400 out of my pocket for a picture on social media. I won't ever use the thing, but here's my picture on social media to join the group of people who are posting up about this thing today to act like I'm some kind of a in-touch gamer, right? I just find it hilarious. Everyone 3 months ago was saying, oh, this is a joke. Nintendo is out of touch with its customer base. You know, and now immediately, I'm not even kidding you, hundreds of content creators posting up, oh, here's my new Switch OLED. So, you fell for the trap, and you supported the bad behavior of Nintendo. And then you promoted it to all of your following. You see what I mean? Now here's the thing. I've been around for 13 years. I understand now, after many, many years of being an idiot back in my formative days as a YouTuber, okay? I understand now that my actions today actually have consequences. People who watch me and follow me listen to what I have to say, and they can make judgments based off of the things that I say and do in my content, okay? They literally follow me for guidance on what to do with games and game consoles and things like that. I mean, people have been asking me for the whole year, what do you think is better, PS5 or Xbox Series X? And, you know, I try to wait to formulate a valid opinion before I just start saying things that might make people lean one way or the other, because I understand that people listen to me. You know what I mean? I try to be responsible for what I say on the internet. And I know that's very different from 10 years ago when I would literally say anything for shock value. I didn't give a fuck. I didn't take it seriously. Now I've learned and I've matured up and I've understand now that what I do is important because I want to behave or conduct myself in a way that my behavior doesn't cause people to act in a silly way because I'm being stupid on the internet. Okay? So that being said, I understand that doing dumb shit can make other people do dumb shit. We were all criticizing Nintendo 3 months ago, saying this is bad behavior from Nintendo. When your entire fan base tells you they want something, and you ignore what your fan base wants and give them something else, but still charge more money, that's a bad behavior. We don't want Nintendo to do that. We want them to listen to customer feedback and do what customers want, not whatever they want, because they feel we can sell you whatever, and you're so dumb, you will buy it anyway and line our pockets with money. Okay? So, if everyone's criticizing Nintendo 3 months ago when they announced this thing, why now am I seeing ridiculous amounts of content creators posting up, oh, here's my new Switch OLED. Wow. So now not only are you irresponsible with your money, right? Maybe you're rolling in dough. Not everyone is. But maybe you're rolling in dough because you're filthy rich and you make $1 million on Twitch, right? So you went and bought a Switch OLED. Then you posted up and advertising it like it's some kind of a fucking accomplishment that you bought a game console. So now all of your followers and viewers think it's the cool thing to have this thing. And how many of them are going to run out and buy it? For what? For what? We all said 3 months ago, this is a bad behavior from Nintendo. So because content creators can't fucking have any kind of, even a modicum of self-control, right? Oh, I'm rolling in money. I'll just blow my money on anything gaming related just because I can. That irresponsibility, fiscal irresponsibility, will now roll into their own followings. How many of their viewers will think it's the cool thing, it's the in thing to have the Switch OLED and go buy it when they don't need it? And this is what people don't fucking realize. Actual actions have consequences. They don't get that. In this day, 2021, people still don't realize, these people who are getting popular on the internet don't realize the things that they say and do have concrete consequences, right? The thing is, a lot of people are like, oh, well, they're shills. I don't think so. Do you really believe? I don't think that these people are getting paid to rush out there and say, I bought a Nintendo Switch OLED. No, I don't believe that. I really don't. I don't think Nintendo does that shit. Maybe other companies do for their games and shit. I don't think Nintendo does that. But I think that, like, Nintendo is so used to people kissing their ass that they feel like they're immune to criticism. Like, they don't feel like, look at this. Look what's going on with the whole Joy-Con drift thing. Nintendo's getting sued. Nintendo doesn't even really care, right? What has Nintendo really done to fix the issue? Nothing, right? Nothing. They're selling another Switch with the same Joy-Cons. Until Nintendo is shown that bad actions will result in bad consequences for them, they will not change. They will continue to be the same and do the same anti-consumer actions over and over and over. If you ran out and bought a Switch OLED and you didn't need it, you bought into it. You're supporting their bad actions as a content, or not content, excuse me, a gaming console and game developer manufacturer. You know, you're doing that. You are lining their pockets with money that they don't deserve, and they will continue to do bad things. No one to blame but yourself. Same thing with shame on these content creators who didn't need it. But whoa, look at this. I'm in the in crowd now. I ran out and I bought the fucking console for no reason, right? So for me, I look at this, I'm like, damn, man, this really is frustrating for me to see that. Because I'm a content creator who is not in the same situation as them. Admittedly, I'm jealous. I don't have the means to buy every game and drop it like a hot rock because I don't want to play it after one stream. I don't get everything for free. I can't afford every console. I wish I could. I can't. I don't have that capability anymore. At one point, 10 years ago, sure. Now, I got to pick and choose what I play. I got to be careful about what I play because I have limited income, And I'm not in a situation where I could just drop hundreds and hundreds of dollars on things on a daily basis just because I have nothing else to do that day, like these guys. So I wish, but I'm not. So I realize my actions have consequences because of you guys telling me this over 13 years. So I'm going to do responsible stuff. And then I turn and immediately look at social media. Here's like a dozen pictures of top content creators holding their Switch OLED. Look what I just dropped money on. Yeah, you're a fucking idiot. You literally promoted the bad behaviors of a company that doesn't listen to its customer base, but you still reward them for the bad behavior. And now every one of your followers will follow suit because you don't realize how much of a holding influence you have over those people. I actually find this funny because sometimes I get into debates with people on social media about this stuff, about the impact of content creators on the gameplay landscape, okay? The way I see it is, we know these guys make millions of dollars, right? They do. They make millions of dollars between not only the revenue they make on streams, the on-demand revenue of YouTube, and then the sponsorship deals behind the scenes. Do you think they would make that kind of money if they didn't have the influence they do. You know what I'm saying? When these guys post up anything, people go and buy the product. Literally. Oh, look, I played this game today. Immediate sales. I think that people very grossly underrate the turnaround of one of these popular content creators advertising and or saying something positive about a game or a console, and the amount of people who then will run out to get it because they said so. Really. Because I used to underestimate the amount of people who listened to what I said and did, and then over the years people have opened my eyes to it, and like, no, listen, like, we really listened to everything you said and made judgments based off of it and everything. I'm like, damn, I never realized that. I always thought I was some asshole. I was just some asshole on the internet dicking around. I didn't take my shit seriously. But no, people really do. So you got to be careful. And these people just, they're so fucking irresponsible with the power they have. As I say, I keep saying this Spider-Man quote and everyone makes fun of me. With great power comes great responsibility. When you have a viewer base and a reach, you have to use that responsibly. You shouldn't be using, oh, on a whim, I bought this fucking $400 console. Here it is, guys. Wow, now everyone else is going to want it too, so you should have fucking, you know what? Maybe keep it to yourself. Maybe if you're such a huge Nintendo fan, you want to get it. But then don't advertise it to your fans like it's something good when we all collectively agreed 3 months ago that Nintendo didn't listen to what people wanted. You know what I mean? I just wish people would be more responsible, but it just seems to me the more rich and popular these people get, the less responsible they become. The biggest people are the least responsible ones at this point. Certainly seems that way. Anyway, that's one news story. The other news story is in regards to a game that I didn't think I would ever have anything else to say about, but is back in the news for multiple reasons. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to talk about Marvel's Avengers. Yeah. Marvel's Avengers, a game that came out last year in September from Crystal Dynamics. Square Enix, was supposed to be a giant blockbuster. We're expecting it to be one of the best-selling games, biggest games of the year. It was a ginormous failing flop. Why? For two major reasons. First of all, the game itself, all right? The game itself was presented as a game that was supposed to have a robust campaign plus long-standing gameplay. And when the game came out, the campaign primarily composed of a new character, Kamala Harris, right? Kamala Khan, excuse me. Kamala Harris. I think I got the Kamalas confused. Kamala Khan, a new superhero, Ms. Marvel, who in the last decade in Marvel Universe actually became very popular. But having Ms. Marvel be actually the main character of this game rather than one of the actual Avengers actually was probably a big misstep. And I didn't mind. I thought the campaign of the game was actually decent, but a lot of people criticized the game saying, man, I bought Avengers to play as the Avengers, and 90% of the game you're playing as a teenage girl. I think they missed the mark here, okay? So that's number one. Number two, they advertised this game as this would be a game-as-a-service game where there's going to be ridiculous amounts of content, a looter-shooter co-op game with your friends, and most people who bought the game said, well, after playing it a few hours after beating the campaign, it's boring as dirt. Everything's the same. The content really isn't robust at all. It's the same shit over and over. It's boring. And it's very disappointing because they promised that this game would be like the co-op game to play. And it really just doesn't do anything special. It's super boring. Okay? Now, the thing is, for most of us who have been around the block, we kind of predicted this was going to happen with the game. We were like, man, you're going to spend $60 on this game, play through a 10-hour campaign, and then what? Just do grindy, repetitive stuff endlessly. Now, they did promise there would be expansions, which they have lived up to. There have been expansion content for this game over the course of the last year, but pretty much they've all been released with no hoopla, no big fanfare, because no one really cares about the game. The game failed massively. They ended up selling it for a massive discount after just like a month or two of it being out because no one wanted to buy this game. And it was one of the biggest sales flops of the last fiscal year. Why am I bringing up the game again? I'll tell you why I'm bringing it up, because two things happened this week. First of all, the game released for Xbox Game Pass. Okay? Now, let's think about what would happen if a game that previously was actually needed to be purchased ends up on a subscription-based service where you get it for free. I wonder if some people will try to play it for the first time because it's fucking free, right? It's common sense. But what's hilarious to me about this is like 2 days ago, I started seeing all these news articles posted up. oh my God, Marvel's Avengers has found a new base, a new player base. Millions of people are playing the game for the first time. The server capacity is overwhelmed. They're going to have to do something about this because so many people are trying to play the game. It's like, yeah, it's free. Anything that's free will get an increase in players. The hilarious part about this is I keep seeing them reporting it as if each download under Game Pass is a sale. It is not a sale. There is no point of no transaction, no point of sale taking place. It's already there for free and people are clicking on it and getting it. There is no sale. They want to report games under Game Pass as a game sale when they're not. They are not. This is a misclassification of the game saying that it sells if someone plays it under Game Pass. That is completely false information and false. It's basically a way for them to spin it marketing-wise and claim that a game is way more successful than it actually is. Okay? And it's got to end. Because at some point, someone's got to call out and say, that's false advertising or false misrepresentation. You're basically trying to sugarcoat shit, and you should stop because you're making people think that things are more popular than they really are. At some point, someone's got to call them out for this horse shit. Okay? You have to. Now, that being said, okay, of course there's tons more people playing it. The question is not how many people will play it initially because it's under Game Pass. The question is how many people will stay. How many people will play this game and say, oh, it's actually good, I'm going to keep playing it, versus, okay, I played through the campaign for 10 hours like everyone else did last year, and then they say, okay, the game's boring and repetitive, and they drop it and never play it again. Because what you're seeing right now is exactly what happened when the game released a year ago. People played it for like a week and a half and then dropped it and never played it again. I really don't see any difference here. You know what I mean? Like, they're reporting it like it's some kind of positive news for the game. I don't see how it's positive news. It's just a new group of people exposed to it because it's basically for free for them, and then they're going to drop it again, you know? But the other thing that just happened, okay, is that in the last 24 hours, Crystal Dynamics, this is the name of the company that made the game, 100% went back on their word a year ago. It was 1 year ago when they were talking about this game. They said, this game will have no microtransactions. Everything in this game will be free. You'll get free expansions, free content, free everything. Over the lifespan of this game, it will always be free. You'll never have to pay for anything. That is our commitment to you. As of yesterday, they added microtransactions to the game. They 100% went back on their word. What are the microtransactions? They're basically experience boosters, okay? So why are they doing it? I'll tell you why they're doing it. Because there's people who now a year later are starting to play the game, and they're like, man, all the good content, you have to be way high level to experience. I can't just jump into the good expansions and stuff that they're doing because I'm just starting the game. I want to do this high-end raids. I want to do this stuff, and I can't do it because I'm just starting because it's under Game Pass. I just started playing. So what they're doing is they're providing a means to turbo your way through that shit by buying experience boosts. Okay? For the newcomers, maybe if you are playing the game under Game Pass for the first time, you like the game, and you're like, man, I don't want to grind for 3 months to get to the point where I can see the good content. I want to do it now. I'll drop $20 to do that because the game was free under Game Pass. I'll drop $20 to turbo through and get to the good content because I really like the game. All right? So in that regard, it doesn't sound so bad, right? I agree. If you're playing a game that's free and you like it and you want to spend a few bucks on it to support the creators and say, hey, I want to get to the better content, what's wrong with that, right? Probably nothing from that perspective. But the perspective here of everyone else is, wait a minute. We bought this game a year ago. You promised us no paid content. We played it for a year and supported your game when everyone panned it and said your game sucked monkey shit. We played it and kept playing it. Now you're telling us literally overnight someone could drop $100 and be just as powerful as us when we had to play for a year to earn it. They get it right now, immediate. Plus you promised us you would never do this, and now you're doing it. So I can completely understand the backlash. I get it. It makes sense. It is. It's a complete 180 from what they say. Now, here's the thing. It's very easy for a game publisher, a game developer, to make promises when their game's doing well or they have expectations for a game to do well, right? When they made these promises a year ago, Crystal Dynamics expected that Avengers was going to be a major bestseller. They thought that it was going to be one of the most popular games of the holiday season. They thought that kids were going to line up, right, to play this game. What they didn't anticipate was, number one, people didn't really care about Avengers anymore because the last movie was prior 2 years before that. Number two, they didn't plan on there being insane amounts of competition near the end of the year, which there absolutely was. And number three, they didn't expect that people would pick and choose the games that they were going to play because they thought, oh, our game's coming out in September. It's coming out earlier. So we're basically going to get the drop on everyone else. And it didn't really affect anything. Like, people were very skeptical about this game from the get-go and didn't do well. So they made all these crazy, lofty promises. And, you know, a year later, Square Enix saying this game's a lost leader for them. You know, wow, we lost so much money invested into this game and never made it back. Well, put microtransactions in it. And I guarantee you Crystal Dynamics probably said, but we promised this. And Square Enix probably said, I don't give a fuck what you said. You didn't make any money on this game because you made a subpar game, so now you're going to go make us money, put microtransactions in, or you're fired. I almost guarantee you that's what happened. Do you really think it's Crystal Dynamics that made this decision? I don't think so. I think these guys just wanted to make a good game, and Square Enix put their foot down and said, nah, you lost us so much money on this. Get us some fucking money. Microtransactions now, or, you know, we'll kick your ass right out. So, you know, I feel bad for them. I think that this company really got screwed. I don't know where along the way they thought that a looter shooter was going to work for Avengers. I really don't. Looter shooter slash looter combat game, because this game doesn't have as much shooting unless you're playing Black Widow. But you see what I'm saying? Like, it's very confusing that they thought that this was actually going to be successful. If you had asked and polled people, you know, your customer base, what kind of an Avengers game would you want? I guarantee you 90% of the people would have said, we don't want a cooperative game that's online grinding. They probably would have said, no, we want something else. So give us a 20, 30-hour robust campaign with crazy amounts of feeling like you're playing as the characters. You know what I mean? As opposed to, oh, game is a service game. You know? So, I don't know. So this is what's going on with the game right now. Okay? I don't know what's going to happen moving forward. Will this game actually get profits? Because it hasn't yet. It hasn't turned a profit. The game was a huge loss for Square Enix over the course of the last year. Because they added microtransactions in for immediate profits on those playing it on Game Pass, will this mean they'll actually make some profits on the game now? Or is it too little too late? You know, is this going to now make the people who played the game for a year abandon the game and say, well, screw you, you lied to us? I don't know. But it's definitely an interesting story. And I'll let you know if there's any further developments on it. Like I said, I thought that this game was done. I didn't think we'd be talking about it over a year later, but okay. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to my news stories. We're going to do shout-outs now, okay? As of right now, we have no tips whatsoever, but we do have some YouTube side contributions to shout out, so I will shout those out. But guys, remember, the best way to support the channel is with tips. I really need help with tips today. Like I said, I'm trying to pay a bunch of bills over the course of this weekend. Please tip me if you support the stream. I really need help in that regard, okay? Now, first of all, we've got Foz Craw, who did a $5 super chat and says, are you skipping the new Metroid or are you saving it for later? I already answered this a million times, but since you're on the stream, Foz Craw, and asking, Metroid Dread I'm not playing now. There's just no time for it. I'm playing too many games as it is. I literally just explained on the pre-stream, man, I wish I had more time to play the other games I'm playing, like Lost Judgment and stuff. Adding another game into the mix right now would be idiocy. You can't play 6-7 games at once. It's just not going to work. I want to play Metroid Dread. The reviews say it's good. People playing it say it's good. But being that it's not a major narrative-based game, I'm in no real dire straits of not, you know what I mean? Like, not, oh my god, I'll be spoiled on it if I don't play it immediately. It's not really the case. So, Metroid Dread is a case of a few games where I want to play it, and likely I'll hold off on it until there's opportunity to do it, whether that be November, December, whenever it may be. When these new releases calm down, then I will jump in and probably play it. But for now, it is what it is. I'm not playing it because I just don't have opportunity to do so. If I started playing it, what am I going to do? Play once a week for 2 hours? Wow, that's really worth it, isn't it? Of course it's not. It would just disappoint more people, so why should I start another playthrough, right? Okay. Guitar Player 1939 renewed their membership. Thank you so much. And then did a $10 super chat. So thank you for that. Let's go ahead and get that up on the leaderboard as the latest super chat. Thank you, thank you. And he says the following. Thank you for letting me know about that HD texture pack. You're welcome. I didn't know about it either. Someone told me overnight on Twitter about it. I was like, okay, I downloaded it. I'll give it a shot. It's huge, though. It's like 26 gigs, so it's a ginormous texture pack. But hopefully, you know, the game will look better. If not, what do you do? How do you uninstall a texture pack? I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't fuck the game up. But I don't know why they did it like that separately. It's so weird to me. Obviously, if you're downloading the next-gen version of the game, you want all the next-gen features, right? Thank you, Guitar Player. And then Team Ico Gamer also became a member. Now, it's unclear if it was one that... I think it was one that had expired, and now they have renewed it. So I think we're actually technically up to 273 now. So I'll go ahead and update that, and I'll have to check periodically and see how we're doing on that, okay? All right, so ladies and gentlemen, that is it. We have no tips and nothing else to shout out. Usually I have way more to shout out. We got like nothing today. So, again, if you do support the streams, please contribute if you can, and please tip me if you can. That is the preferred method. I really need help with tips today to pay both my internet bill and the condo dues over the course of the weekend. So thank you in advance to anyone who contributes. And, yeah, anything else? Anyone else have any questions or anything to talk about? Oh, let's see here. My Ruin said if you bought the disc version of Far Cry 6, the next gen version that is, so PS5, etc., it's actually included on the disc. But that's really it. Like, I guess for some reason for the download it's separate. It's so confusing. Review Tech Mexico has done the first tip of the day. $2. Said like you loved Street Fighter, Tekken, and Virtua Fighter and many other fighting games growing up, gonna suck if you cut back playing them, but I understand it. Yeah, and the thing is, not that I want to cut back on playing Street Fighter. I like playing it once a week. I do. But honestly, I'm disappointed that these last 2 weeks, I've essentially made zero progress in Lost Judgment, a game that's one of my favorite games I'm playing right now, and I'm making no progress in it at all. Because I'm playing all these other games, and then it's like, oh, Phil, you got to play the fucking beta for Battlefield. Oh, Phil, you got to do this, you got to do that. It's like, I can't play the games I'm playing then, you know? That's why I had to make a decision about the Nickelodeon Brawl game, about Metroid Dread. I can't just play every single thing that releases. I would literally never get anywhere in any game, you know? And again, for me, it's different than other content creators. I want you guys to understand my perspective here. I'm not in the financial situation of these guys that are making millions of dollars streaming. I'm just not. I can't buy every game, you know, and then play it once and drop it. That's not who I am as a gamer, and that's not who I am as a content creator. When I start a playthrough, I try to finish it, you see? So I have to pick and choose the games I'm going to play, and sometimes there's very tough decisions to make, okay? And the decisions I have to make aren't always easy. You know, I wanted to play Nick this week. I couldn't. I want to play Metroid Dread right now. I can't. You know, I like Street Fighter. I might have to stop playing it for a while. There's nothing you can do about this stuff, you know? Okay. Thank you very much for the first tip of the day. Review Tech Mexico. What a name. Okay. So, guys, anything else? Any other concerns, questions? Anything else going on? Or have I covered it all? If that is the case, we're going to take a brief break for me to just use the restroom, and you guys, you know, grab a drink or a snack, do what you need to do before we begin here. Anything else? The conclusion of Monkey Ball, we're only in the 6th world. We're only in World 6. I don't know how you think we're concluding Monkey Ball anytime soon. Especially because it's getting harder. Like, the more I play, it seems to get more difficult. So I don't think Monkey Ball is going to be concluding soon. It's just the opposite, I feel. Hello, Some Arm Wrestler. Some Arm Wrestler. What a name. Okay, anything else? Anything else, or are we good here? It's like a surprise if I lower the members goal, that kind of undermines the whole point of the members goal, don't you think? Here we go again with this. Well, are you going to lower the members goal because it doesn't look like we might hit this members goal this month? Well, we were very close, and then all of a sudden there was a dip in members for some odd reason. And now we're in a situation where, yeah, the members aren't going so great. Like, what do you want me to do about it exactly? Yeah. What's the point of having a members goal if you keep moving it? There's really no point in having one then, right? I'm just being honest. So, likely no, I'm not moving the members goal. Likely, we'll hope for the best and see what happens this month, okay? Visage, I've already talked about Visage. I'm well aware that Visage is out on Xbox Game Pass. I played Visage 2 years ago, early access. I paid for it. It was terrible. It was not scary in any way, shape, or form. In fact, quite the opposite. I was chasing the ghost. I was chasing the ghost to try to get scares. It was running away from me and slamming doors in my face as the ghost was afraid of me. Okay? So, here's the thing. You guys want to see Visage? Please, by all means, nominate it for the upcoming Halloween Marathon event, and we'll play it as a segment on the event. All right? I'm all for that. But no, I'm not going to drop what I'm doing with new releases right now in order to play a game that I've already played and wasn't very impressive. Okay? Of course, it was 2 years ago. It's the thing, too. 2 years ago versus now, maybe they've improved the game. It could be a whole different situation now than what we were looking at 2 years ago. I don't know. I'd like to find out, maybe. Okay? Highway Cavalier says, I don't blame the ghost. Well, don't blame the ghost. Blame the devs who made the ghost. Right? That's right. See, I agree. Lone Wolf says, what's really scary, Alan Wake bugs? Yeah, the bugs in Alan Wake yesterday were far scarier than anything we saw when we played Visage 2 years ago. It's for sure. Okay. Alright, well, guys, I think that's that for now. Okay? Thank you for a great pre-stream. Thanks for chilling with me. Let's take a break. Like I said, I'm going to use the restroom. And I hope that you guys will, take a quick break, do whatever you need to do. All right, I shall return shortly with the continuation of Far Cry 6. If that sounds good to you, I hope it does. Okay? All right, guys, thanks. I'll see you all in a bit. Alrighty then.